Italy is one of the richest countries in the world in terms of natural diversity. A narrow peninsula stretching into the heart of the Mediterranean Sea, protected by the Alps in the north, and surrounded by water on three sides. Italy holds extraordinary places that do not get the fame they truly deserve. This is the Italy you have not seen before. Savoca, Sicily. This small Sicilian village stands on a rocky hill in the northeast of the island, overlooking the Ionian coast. Its history goes back to the 12th century, and its narrow stone streets, along with its old churches, still carry the marks of centuries of Norman and Arab rule. Today, its population does not exceed 2,000 people, and most of its buildings remain almost unchanged after centuries. Orvieto, Umbria. Orvieto is a city built on top of a volcanic rock cliff made of tough stone, rising about 50 meters above the valley around it. It was founded by the Etruscans more than 2,500 years ago, who chose this location because it was a natural fortress, difficult to invade. Beneath the city lies a network of tunnels and caves carved into the rock over many centuries. More than 1,200 tunnels and chambers have been documented so far. They were used as water wells, storage rooms, olive oil presses, and even shelters during times of siege. One of its most remarkable landmarks is St. Patrick's Well, designed in 1527 with two separate spiral staircases that allow people to go up and down without crossing paths. It is about 53 meters deep, and it was built to guarantee the city access to water during a siege. Orvieto, Umbria. Orvieto is a city built on top of a volcanic rock cliff made of tough stone, rising about 50 meters above the valley around it. It was founded by the Etruscans more than 2,500 years ago, who chose this location because it was a natural fortress, difficult to invade. Beneath the city lies a network of tunnels and caves carved into the rock over many centuries. More than 1,200 tunnels and chambers have been documented so far. They were used as water wells, storage rooms, olive oil presses, and even shelters during times of siege. One of its most remarkable landmarks is St. Patrick's Well, designed in 1527 with two separate spiral staircases that allow people to go up and down without crossing paths. It is about 53 meters deep, and it was built to guarantee the city access to water during a siege. Madeira Basilicata. Madeira is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. It lies in southern Italy, on the edge of a deep rocky valley known as the Gravina. What makes it unique is the district of the Sassi, where homes were carved directly into limestone rock. The oldest of these dwellings date back to the Paleolithic era, more than 9,000 years ago. Over the centuries, the inhabitants kept expanding into the rock, until an entire city was formed from caves, churches, stairways, and carved levels stacked above one another. The Dolomites. Towering peaks of pale pink stone rise dramatically toward the sky. The Dolomites differ from the rest of the Alps in both composition and appearance. They are made of dolomite rock, formed more than 250 million years ago at the bottom of an ancient tropical sea. Coral reefs and marine life fossilized, layer after layer, and were later pushed upward by tectonic forces to heights above 3,000 meters. At sunset, the peaks turn pink, then orange, then red. This phenomenon is known as enrossadera, caused by sunlight reflecting off the minerals in the rock. UNESCO listed the Dolomites as a World Heritage Site in 2009. They include 9 mountain groups spread across 3 Italian regions and contain some of the most striking rock formations in Europe. Val d'Orcia, Tuscany. Rolling green hills stretch to the horizon, crossed by lines of cypress trees. Val d'Orcia, in the heart of Tuscany, is one of the most iconic landscapes in Italy. Ancient volcanic activity shaped the valley's clay-rich soil. In the Middle Ages, farmers settled there, planting wheat, vineyards, and olive trees, turning it into a perfectly balanced natural painting. Villages such as Pinza and Montalcino stand on hilltops, built in medieval times as defensive strongholds, and today they still overlook the same scenery once painted by Renaissance artists. In Trieste, few people realize that the far northeast of Italy contains a city that served for centuries as the main port of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Piazza Unità d'Italia opens directly onto the Adriatic Sea, and it is considered the largest sea-facing square in Europe. On a hill above the Gulf stands Muramer Castle, built in 1856 by Archduke Maximilian of Austria, surrounded by gardens filled with plant species brought from his voyages around the world. Madonna della Corona, Veneto. At an altitude of 774 meters, this sanctuary clings to a vertical rock wall on Mount Baldo. It looks as if it is hanging in the air, carved directly into the cliff. Its origin was a natural cave where hermits once chose to live in isolation. Over time, a stone building was constructed around it and gradually expanded into the form seen today. Reaching it requires descending more than 1,500 steps carved into the rock. Agrigento, Sicily. Along a ridge overlooking the Mediterranean stand Greek temples more than 2,500 years old. The Valley of the Temples in Agrigento is one of the most important Greek archaeological sites outside Greece. The Greeks founded the colony of Acragas here in 581 BC. Within 1 century, it became one of the richest cities in the Mediterranean, and its people built a line of massive Doric temples. The Temple of Concordia is one of the best preserved Greek temples in the world. It survived because it was converted into a Christian church in the 6th century AD, protecting it from destruction and looting. Alberobello, Pugliese. More than 1,500 stone buildings with conical roofs are scattered across two hills in the heart of Puglia. These buildings are known as trulli, and they are unique in the world. Their roofs were built from layers of limestone stacked without any mortar or cement. The reason goes back to a law imposed by the kings of Naples in the 17th century, requiring taxes on permanent buildings. Roofs that could be dismantled quickly became a way to avoid those taxes. Flat stones were laid at precise angles to prevent rainwater from entering. On top of each roof sits a carved stone called a pinnacolo, many of them bearing religious or pagan symbols. Lake Bray's Dolomites. Still turquoise water reflects the peaks of the surrounding Dolomites. Lake Bray's stands at an altitude of 1,496 meters in the far north of Italy. It was formed by a landslide that blocked the valley at the end of the Ice Age. Its turquoise color changes depending on the season and the angle of light. Tiny mineral particles suspended in the water reflect sunlight and give it that distinctive color. Capri, Gulf of Naples. In the Gulf of Naples, the island of Capri rises from the sea with nearly vertical rock walls reaching heights of around 300 meters. Off its southern coast stand three giant rock formations known as the Faraglioni, sculpted by wind and waves until they detached completely from the island. The tallest of them rises to 109 meters. Taormina, Sicily. Taormina is a small town built on a rocky slope 200 meters above the Ionian Sea on the east coast of Sicily. Behind it rises Mount Etna with smoke drifting from its summit, while in front of it the coast drops sharply toward the sea. Its Greek theater was built in the 3rd century BC on the edge of the cliff. Its seats were carved into the rock and could hold around 5,400 spectators. The theater's backdrop is not a wall, but an open view directly toward the sea and Mount Etna, making it one of the most spectacular ancient theaters in terms of location. Bergamo, Lombardy. This city is divided into 2 distinct parts. The lower city spreads across the Lombardy plain, while the upper city sits on a hill surrounded by walls more than 6 kilometers long. The Republic of Venice built these walls in the 16th century to resist invasions. Their thickness was enough to withstand artillery fire, and 4 main gates still survive today. The Amalfi Coast, Campania. 50 kilometers of winding roads carved into cliffs that drop directly into the Tyrrhenian Sea. The Amalfi Coast stretches along the southern side of the Sorrentine Peninsula, where villages cling to the slopes in places that seem impossible to build on. Colorful houses are stacked one above another, connected by stone stairways instead of streets. Some villages can only be reached on foot or by sea. The town of Amalfi was once, in the 10th century, a powerful maritime republic that rivaled Venice and Genoa. Its trading fleet sailed as far as Constantinople and Alexandria, and its sailors developed navigation tables that were used across the Mediterranean for centuries. Lake Como, Lombardy. Lake Como is the deepest lake in Italy, reaching a depth of 410 meters. It stretches among the Alps in the far north of Lombardy. It was formed by melting glaciers at the end of the last ice age. The mountains around it protect the area from the cold northern winds, creating a mild climate where olive trees, cypress, and even palms can grow despite the nearby Alps. At the meeting point of the lake's branches lies the village of Bellagio, standing on the tip of a small peninsula. Its location gives it views over 3 directions of water and mountains. Many villages along the lake can only be reached by ferry or by narrow and winding mountain roads. Cinque Terre, Liguria. 5 villages hanging on steep rocky cliffs above the Ligurian Sea. The name literally means the 5 lands, and it refers to a string of settlements built along a coast that seems almost impossible for human habitation. No roads originally connected the 5 villages. For centuries, people depended on boats and stone footpaths carved into the cliffs to move between them. The houses are painted in bright colors, not for decoration, but so fishermen could recognize their homes from the sea. Venice, Veneto. 118 small islands set in a shallow lagoon north of the Adriatic Sea, connected by more than 400 bridges. Venice is an entire city built over water. The islands rest on millions of wooden piles driven deep into the muddy floor of the lagoon. Wood submerged in water does not rot because the bacteria responsible for decay cannot function without oxygen. Over time, the wood hardened and became even stronger. There are no cars and no roads. Movement happens by boat or on foot. The Grand Canal is the city's main artery, stretching for 4 kilometers, crossed by only 4 bridges. Perugia, Umbria. The capital of Umbria stands on a chain of hills 500 meters above the Tiber Valley. Perugia is a fortified city whose history goes back to the Etruscans, and the huge Etruscan arch still stands at one of its entrances since the 3rd century BC. The city is built on multiple levels, with a network of tunnels and underground passages connecting the different layers. Some of them are ancient streets and medieval buildings that remained preserved below, while newer neighborhoods were built above them. Rome, Lazio. 7 hills on the banks of the Tiber River, where one of the most influential cities in human history was built. Rome was once the capital of an empire stretching from Britain to Mesopotamia. The Colosseum could hold around 50,000 spectators. Built in the 1st century AD, it was even once flooded with water to recreate naval battles. Milan, Lombardy. Milan is Italy's economic capital and the center of fashion and design in the country. It lies in the heart of the Lombardy plain between the Ticino and Adda rivers. The Duomo Cathedral took 6 centuries to build. Construction began in 1386 and was not fully completed until 1965. Its roof is covered with more than 3,400 statues, crowned by a forest of Gothic spires that visitors can actually walk among. Palermo, Sicily. Palermo lies in a fertile plain, surrounded by mountains on 3 sides and the sea on the 4th. It is the capital of Sicily, and a city shaped by Phoenicians, Greeks, Romans, Arabs, and Normans. Its markets are among the oldest in Europe and still function in almost the same way as they did centuries ago. Vendors call out their goods in a melodic style inherited from the Arab era, known as abbaniata. The Palermo Cathedral alone summarizes the city's layered history. First built as a church, then turned into a mosque during Arab rule, and later restored as a church by the Normans, with each era leaving a new architectural layer behind. Genoa, Liguria. From this port sailed one of the most powerful maritime republics in history. Genoa lies on the Ligurian Sea, squeezed between mountains and water along a narrow coastal strip. Its narrow alleys, known as carruggi, form a maze that is one of the largest historical centers in Europe. Some of them are barely 1 meter wide, and sunlight hardly reaches the ground. The Lanterna Lighthouse rises 77 meters above the harbor. Built in the 12th century, it still operates today, making it one of the oldest working lighthouses in the world. Italy has always been, and still remains, one of the richest countries in the world in terms of natural diversity and geological heritage. What makes it special is not only what appears on the surface, but also what lies behind its familiar tourist image. We will see you again on another journey.